In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 WNBA games happening on July 16, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets. As we provide these videos on a daily basis, I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 WNBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Atlanta Dream versus Chicago Sky. The Atlanta Dream sit as the 5th place team in the WNBA and are getting ready to take on the Chicago Sky, who currently hold the 10th spot in the league standings. This matchup is scheduled for July 16th at Wintrust Arena in what should be an interesting Eastern Conference battle. Chicago has been showing signs of improvement lately, but the betting lines don't seem to reflect this upward trend. Angel Reese has been putting up career-high scoring numbers, and the team has managed to stay relatively healthy as they hit the midway point of the season. The Sky appear ready to start moving in the right direction, while Atlanta is dealing with some significant challenges after losing Ryan Howard to injury. The Dream have dropped 3 of their last 4 games and are clearly struggling to find ways to replace Howard's perimeter scoring and three-point shooting. All signs point to Chicago being the team on the rise here. As our first pick for this matchup, the Chicago Sky to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. When it comes to Chicago Sky games, betting the under has been a profitable strategy. They don't play at a fast pace, they focus most of their scoring efforts in the paint, and they simply don't have a high-powered offensive attack. Angel Reese has been putting up better scoring numbers recently, but her style of play doesn't lead to quick points. She typically needs pick and rolls, post-up opportunities, or offensive rebounds to get her buckets, and this methodical approach takes time to develop. As the underdog in this game, Chicago will want to slow things down and limit the total number of possessions to keep this contest competitive. Atlanta is playing without their best outside shooter in Ryan Howard, who also happens to be their second leading scorer. This has all the makings of a slow-paced affair, with Chicago naturally wanting to grind things out and Atlanta missing their all-star guard due to injury. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Phoenix Mercury versus Minnesota Lynx. The surging Phoenix Mercury are heading north to face the red-hot Minnesota Lynx in what promises to be an exciting Western Conference battle between the two teams with the best records in the WNBA. This Wednesday matchup features 2 powerhouse squads at the top of their game. I get that the Lynx are an exceptional team and even more dangerous when playing at home. The Mercury are dealing with some injury issues and are missing what many consider their 2 most important players. But this betting line seems completely out of line with reality. Phoenix has been dealing with these injury problems for about a week now, yet they've still managed to win 8 of their last 10 games. Those victories include impressive upset wins over both Golden State and these same Lynx. Just a week ago, the Mercury took down Minnesota as 7-point underdogs. Alyssa Thomas has been absolutely dominant recently and has shown she can single-handedly carry this Mercury team to victory when needed. Phoenix has covered the spread in 7 of their last 9 games when they've been double-digit underdogs. This line doesn't give them nearly enough credit for what they've accomplished. As our first pick for this matchup, the Phoenix Mercury to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. This Western Conference showdown brings together the WNBA's 2 most lethal three-point shooting teams, both capable of erupting for big scoring nights. While Minnesota brings some seriously impressive defensive skills to the court, the pace of this game should stay well above what we typically see across the league. Phoenix will likely need to push the tempo to stay competitive in this one. The Lynx have all the weapons they need to build substantial leads, but the Mercury have proven time and again that they won't back down, often mounting comeback efforts with explosive late-game runs. That combination of offensive firepower and competitive spirit sets up perfectly for a game that should easily sail over the projected total. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Golden State Valkyries versus Seattle Storm. The Golden State Valkyries are making their way to Climate Pledge Arena on Wednesday afternoon to take on the Seattle Storm in what should be an intriguing Western Conference matchup. There's no question that the Storm are the stronger team on paper, and they definitely have the home court advantage working in their favor since they typically perform at their highest level when playing in front of their own fans. The Valkyries have been struggling lately and don't seem to have that same spark they show when they're playing in the intense atmosphere of Chase Center. However, there are some compelling reasons to back Golden State in this spot. The Valkyries have actually won both previous meetings against Seattle this season, and they continue to be the most reliable cover team in the entire league with an impressive 13-8 against the spread record. This is a gritty group that refuses to fold under pressure, so you should expect a competitive battle from start to finish. The rebounding numbers tell a story that strongly favors the visiting team here. The Valkyries currently rank third in the league with an exceptional 52.3% total rebounding percentage, while the Storm find themselves way down in 12th place with just a 47.7% total rebounding rate. Another key factor is how often each team gets to the free throw line, which often indicates aggressive play and puts the opposing team in foul trouble. Golden State sits 7th in the WNBA with 19.9 free throw attempts per game, compared to Seattle's 12th place ranking with only 16.1 attempts at the charity stripe per game. The Storm have definitely played their most impressive basketball at home this season, but they've shown some troubling inconsistency in recent games. The Golden State Valkyries have established themselves as one of the better underdog plays in the WNBA throughout this season, while they've been more effective at home. Even though Seattle is looking for some revenge on their home court, experience has taught me not to bet against the Valkyries when they're getting points. As our first pick for this matchup, the Golden State Valkyries to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Both the Storm and the Valkyries rank among the bottom 5 teams in pace statistics across the league. Seattle holds the 5th slowest pace, while Golden State checks in as the 4th worst this season. This setup points toward a low-scoring affair, and the under has hit in 6 of 10 games when Golden State has played away from home. Seattle's defense deserves recognition as they rank 3rd best in scoring defense, which means they should be able to keep Golden State's offensive output in check during this matchup. The defensive ratings show that both teams are stepping up on that end of the floor. Golden State currently sits 4th in the league with a 99.2 defensive rating, while Seattle ranks 6th with a 99.7 defensive rating. Both teams also struggle to push the pace of play, as the Valkyries rank 10th with a 94.55 pace, while the Storm sit 9th with a 94.99 pace so far this season. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Indiana Fever versus New York Liberty. The Indiana Fever are hitting the road to Brooklyn tonight to take on the defending WNBA champion Liberty in what marks the final game before the All-Star break for both squads. This setup isn't ideal for Indiana, as they're playing on the second night of a back-to-back situation. The good news is that the travel distance is pretty manageable after Tuesday night's matchup in Connecticut, so they won't be dealing with any grueling cross-country flights or major time zone adjustments. When you look at how these two teams have matched up this season, they've basically traded wins, splitting their season series so far. Both of those previous meetings took place on Indiana's home court, which gives us some context for how they might perform in a different environment tonight. The Fever have shown they can hang with Brooklyn's high-powered offense, and their perimeter defense has the tools to disrupt what the Liberty want to do from beyond the arc. New York ranks 3rd in the league in three-point shooting, but Indiana counters with the 3rd best three-point defense in the WNBA. You've got to expect Caitlin Clark to shake off whatever happened Tuesday night and get back to creating scoring chances for her teammates, especially in the paint where Indiana can really do some damage. The rebounding battle should favor the Fever as well, and that becomes even more important with Jonquel Jones still sidelined for Brooklyn. The tricky part about this game is that Indiana is coming off that back-to-back, and there's a real possibility they could be without Clark tonight. Given that she's been dealing with a groin issue for most of the season, it wouldn't be surprising if the team decides to play it safe and rest her in this spot. But here's the thing, this spread feels too wide when you consider how well the Fever have played without their star player. They actually beat this same Liberty team about a month ago as 3.5-point underdogs, so they've already proven they can get it done on the road against quality competition. Brooklyn has been putting together some solid performances lately, but they've looked shaky ever since Jones went down with her injury. The numbers back this up too. The Liberty are just 2-7-1 against the spread in their last 10 games overall. When you narrow it down to situations where they're laying laying 5 or more points. They're even worse at 2 to 5 to 1 against the spread in their last 8 games. Those trends suggest this team might be getting too much respect from the betting public right now. The injury situation with Caitlin Clark is definitely something to monitor closely, especially after what looked like a potential re-aggravation of that groin problem against Connecticut. But we've seen this Indiana team step up in big moments without their superstar, including that Commissioner's Cup final victory. The Fever have built some legitimate depth throughout their roster, and they always seem to bring their best effort when they face the Liberty. New York is still a talented group, but without Jones patrolling the paint, they're vulnerable on the glass, and that's exactly where Indiana can exploit them to keep this game competitive. As our first pick for this matchup, the Indiana Fever to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Both of these defenses have been absolutely locking down opponents from three-point range, which should keep the scoring in check tonight. Indiana sits second in the league by holding opponents to just 30% from beyond the arc, while New York ranks fourth with a 32.5% defensive three-point percentage. The recent defensive trends tell the same story about these teams' ability to limit scoring opportunities. The Fever have held opponents to an average of just 78 points over their last 5 games, while the Liberty have been even stingier, allowing only 77 points per game in their last 4 outings. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Las Vegas Aces versus Dallas Wings. The 2025 WNBA betting action rolls on this Wednesday, July 16th, as the Las Vegas Aces make their way to the Dallas Wings for a Western Conference battle at College Park Center in Arlington, Texas. This matchup represents a crucial contest for both teams as they look to position themselves heading into the All-Star break. Las Vegas comes into this game trying to build some momentum after what's been a somewhat inconsistent stretch. They had dropped 2 straight games before managing to pull out a victory in their most recent outing, and they'll be looking to string together some wins to get back on track. The Aces have the talent to be one of the top teams in the league, but they haven't quite put it all together consistently this season. When they're clicking on all cylinders, they can score with anybody, and they'll need that offensive firepower tonight against a Dallas team that's been struggling defensively. The Wings find themselves in a tough spot right now, having dropped their last 3 games in a row. What makes things even more challenging for Dallas is their injury situation. Their 3rd and 4th leading scorers have been sidelined for several games now. While both players are currently listed as day-to-day, there's a good chance the team decides to play it safe and rest them again, especially with this being the final game before the All-Star break. That conservative approach would make sense from a long-term perspective, but it certainly doesn't help their chances of competing with a talented Las Vegas squad. When these teams faced off earlier this season, the Aces managed to come away with a victory despite not shooting the ball particularly well. What made the difference was their ability to get to the free throw line, where they outscored Dallas by 16 points from the charity stripe. That's a telling stat that shows how Las Vegas can find ways to win even when their outside shots aren't falling. The Wings have been giving up way too many easy points lately, including 102 points in their most recent game, and that type of defensive performance won't cut it against a team with the Aces' offensive capabilities. Las Vegas certainly isn't playing at the championship level they're capable of this season, but they've shown some promising signs in recent games. Their tight victory over Golden State might be exactly what they needed to get things rolling in the right direction. Dallas has actually improved their play at home this season, which is something to consider, but they're still not a team that strikes fear into the hearts of the league's better squads. They simply don't have the depth and talent to match up with the top-tier teams on a consistent basis. The Wings have failed to cover the spread in 3 straight games and sit at 9-13 against the spread for the season. Meanwhile, the Aces have dominated this head-to-head matchup, winning 9 of the last 10 games between these 2 teams. As our first pick for this matchup, the Las Vegas Aces to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The scoring trends for this matchup point toward a high-scoring affair tonight. When these teams met earlier this season, the total went over the projected number, continuing a pattern we've seen in recent meetings between these squads. Las Vegas had been seeing the under-hit in 5 consecutive games before their most recent outing went over, and in that last game, they exploded for a season-high 104 points. That offensive explosion shows what this Aces team is capable of when they get into a rhythm, and they should be able to put up big numbers again against a Dallas defense that's been leaking points all over the place. The Wings have been giving up massive point totals lately, allowing 102 points in 2 of their last 3 games. Their defensive struggles have been a consistent theme throughout the season, and it's hard to see how they'll be able to slow down Las Vegas tonight. But Dallas should also be able to contribute to the scoring total themselves, as the Aces have had their own defensive issues, giving up 102 points in their most recent game as well. The historical trend between these teams strongly supports the over as well. The over has connected in 7 straight encounters between Las Vegas and Dallas, which is a remarkable run that's hard to ignore. Given the way both teams have been defending this season, there's every reason to believe this trend will continue tonight. The Wings have allowed at least 87 points in 4 straight games, while the Aces have surrendered 81 or more points in 5 of their last 7 contests. This Western Conference matchup has all the makings of a high-scoring shootout between 2 teams that struggle to get consistent stops. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.